I was surprised there was a call there either way. So very obviously disappointed in the call.
Sports Center on the road, presented by Rocket Mortgage, as we bring in our NFL analyst and former defensive back Ryan Clark. Ryan, so what is your take on whether that offensive pass interference call on Michael Gallup was the correct call?
You know what? I think it was the correct call by the letter of the law, but it's also one of those times where you don't want that play to decide the game. I mean, luckily for the Los Angeles Rams, they've never been in a situation where a pass interference decided, oh, wait, they have. And so the Los Angeles Rams just keep seeming to be on the right side of these calls. Mike McCarthy is right. These guys seem to be doing a little hand fighting when they were going down the field, but you can see Michael Gallup's arm extend and actually get separation from Jalen Ramsey. And Jalen Ramsey did a little bit of Marcus Smart impersonation, but that's what happened. And so now you think about what happened with the Cowboys throughout the game and their bad offense, and the Cowboys having these three explosive wide receivers and not using them to the full capabilities. Amari Cooper not going off, CeeDee Lamb not going off, and also not feeding, to me, at least Zeke in the way that you would want to for explosive plays. And so this team has a lot to work on. They're going to focus on that Michael Gallup pass interference as the reason why they lost the game, but there were things they could have done early on that they didn't.
All right, Ryan Clark, thank you much. You sit tight. We'll be back to you momentarily.
Well, everybody was watching this one, Jay. The first matchup ever between 40-year-old quarterbacks, Brady and Breeze. Tom Brady's Bucs debut, and it started off really as well as it could have, finding Chris Godwin here for a gain of 29 on their first possession. That was his first completion for Tampa Bay. And here from the two, Brady into the end zone for the touchdown. Oldest player to score a touchdown in NFL history, by the way, at 43 years and 41 days. So the Bucs get on the board. Honestly, their defense looked pretty good the entire game. Not so much the offense for the rest of the game. Brady picked off by Marcus Williams, taken down near the 35. A lot of mistakes. He and his receivers were not on the same page. And then, well, the Saints take advantage of the turnover as Kamara rushes in for a touchdown. 10-point Saints lead at the half. It's a long 2nd and 15 from the 32. And here's the second Brady pick, and Janoris Jenkins brings it back for a pick six. This is the way he ended his career with the Pats, and here in the first game with the Bucs, a pick six. On to the fourth quarter. Saints looking to close this one out. Their new receiver, Emmanuel Sanders, becomes the 70th different receiver to catch a touchdown pass from Drew Brees. Saints win.
We didn't do anything that great on offense today, so we made a few plays, but in the end, I think we're all going to wish we had a lot of plays back. Certainly I do. I lost plenty of games in my career, so I know I don't like it, but it happens. So we got to just do a better job.
Obviously, I've got, so much love and respect for him and what he's been able to accomplish, and obviously his journey, and really both of our journeys. We played against each other in college, for goodness sakes, 1999. I'm sure there's some guys on our team that weren't born when that game happened. We would both pinch ourselves, if you told us back then that we'd have the opportunity to play, this long and be a part of so many great teams and so many great moments, historic moments.
Yeah, Drew Brees really putting it in perspective there. Tom Brady's debut in Tampa kept an unfortunate streak alive. According to Elias, he has now thrown a pick six in 3 straight games, dating back to last season, including the postseason. That's the longest streak of his career, tied for the second longest streak over the last 20 seasons. All right, what about his replacement, Cam Newton, and what would this Patriots offense look like against the Miami Dolphins as Cam makes his debut for Bill Belichick and company? Patriots first and goal from the 4, and here's your answer. Newton out of the shotgun, easy touchdown, 59th career rushing touchdown for Cam, extending his own record for most rushing touchdowns by a quarterback, gets the Patriots on the board 7-0. Talking to the offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels, 1st and 10 from the red zone. Another design run. This is what we're going to see this season from the Pats. Another touchdown for Newton. That's reviewed, but it stood. The scoring drive, 446, 8 plays, 75 yards. And Newton celebrating with his OC as the Patriots go on to win in his debut 21-11 over Miami. Which brings us back to RC. You know what? First of all, great to see Cam Newton looking healthy. 15 carries, his first game with New England, most attempts by a quarterback in Patriots history. Can they keep this up?
You know what? I believe that they can keep this up, but I don't necessarily believe that it's enough. I don't think this offense is explosive enough with Cam Newton playing this way to beat the Buffalo Bills and win the AFC East. And that's not something we're used to for the New England Patriots. I thought he played extremely well. I think it was great to see him feel healthy, not only be able to compete at that level, but to finish runs and finish plays the way that he did. But they're going to have to find some offense outside of the numbers, Hannah, and some of these wide receivers are going to have to step up if this team is going to compete at the level they're used to, because it can't just be Cam Newton as the focal point in both the run game and having to create passes using his legs.
Also, you don't want him to be vulnerable. He's got to stay healthy, so got to mix it up a little bit. I can't wait to see him, by the way, against Russell Wilson, who was absolutely spectacular yesterday. That's Sunday night in Seattle. All right, let's go back to Tom Brady. It's going to be a minute for him and the Bucs to get on the same page. Is he going to be able to do the things that he was used to doing in New England, stepping up in the pocket and that precision passing game? Are you seeing that in his future?
I think he can do that, but it's going to take some change on Byron Leftwich, the offense coordinator point, and Tom Brady. I think what we kind of missed this offseason when we were talking about Jameis Winston's interceptions was how talented he actually is. His ability to push the ball down the field, having a little bit stronger arm than Tom Brady, and also being able to move around. They're going to have to go to some of that quick precision passing that Tom Brady is used to, but it's not necessarily the strength of Evans and Godwin. So these guys are going to have to work together. It's going to take a compromise. It's going to take a different molding of strategy, but I believe that Tom Brady can do anything. And so once they get the work in as the season goes along, we'll see this offense be better by using that stable of backs first and then quick precision passing.
Yeah, they got Fournette in there. So the picks are a problem with Jameis Winston, and then they are here the first game. Tom Brady has a couple of picks,
with two more.
I know, but he was in good company, though. Wentz and Rivers were right there with him. Thanks, Ryan.
After watching athletes in other sports use their voices as social justice protests erupted nationwide, the question has been there all summer. What will NFL players do on the field before games? Last Thursday night, the Chiefs and Texans players linked arms pregame in a show of unity. On the first full Sunday of this NFL season, we saw much more. Minnesota Vikings hosted the family of George Floyd, who died in May in that videotape killing that sparked the national protests over police brutality against black people. Vikings players also locking arms in the end zone about a half hour before their game against Green Bay. Just like with the many masks Naomi Osaka wore at the U.S. Open, many NFL players wearing messages and names on their helmets in an effort to make sure those names and those messages are never forgotten. Miami Dolphins and several other teams stayed off the field entirely for the Star-Spangled Banner and the singing of Lift Every Voice and Sing on Sunday. Miami players released a video last week saying they would stay off the field for the national anthem rather than participate in, quote, another publicity parade. And the Seahawks and the Falcons did this. After the opening kickoff sailed out of the end zone, the players took a knee, remaining there for about 10 seconds before trotting off the field. Also, Russell Wilson now, why he chose specifically to remember Breonna Taylor.
It's been an emotional time. Emotional time where there's a lot of hate in the world. There's a lot of disappointing things that are happening. We need justice for Breonna. We need people to step up, and our leaders in our country to be able to step up and make a change for these kind of situations, especially like those. And so, when I think about my daughter, I get fearful because of, a young girl like Breonna having her life taken away is pretty difficult.
I just know that we have a lot of people in this country, and we have teammates who are really hurting, and I just want to be there for them and be supportive of them, and through this whole process, going back now several months, and today was just another example of that.
Colin Kaepernick, who knelt in protest of police brutality 4 years ago, offering this on Twitter yesterday. While the NFL runs propaganda about how they care about black lives, they are still actively blackballing Eric Reid for fighting for the black community. Eric set 2 franchise records last year and is one of the best defensive players in the league. Neither Reid nor Kaepernick is on an NFL roster right now. Hannah?